Hello and welcome to Allot on Air. Today we have a special guest podcaster, Teresa Cottam, Chief Analyst for Omnisperience. Our podcast today is a conversation between Teresa and Angel Fernandez, AVP Security Solutions Product Management for Allot, and was originally recorded as a segment of the Omnisperience Podzine. We hope you enjoy it.
Hi, my name's Teresa Cottam and I'm the Chief Analyst at Telecoms Industry Analysts, Omnisperience.com. I was recently very pleased to interview Angel Fernandez from Allot about the opportunities for telecom service providers to deliver security services in order to meet customer expectations and create new revenue streams for themselves. This interview was originally part of our November 2020 Podzine, which you can download for free from our website omnisperience.com. But in the meanwhile, I hope you enjoy listening to this interview with Angel. Next in this issue of Omnizine, I'm really pleased to welcome Angel Fernandez from Allot. Angel, could you please introduce yourself and your company for our listeners' benefit?
Okay, my name is Angel Fernandez. I work with Allot. I'm part of the product management team in the company, and I'm responsible for all the Allot secure portfolio, which includes all the security solutions from Allot. Allot as a company, we are a provider of network intelligence and security solutions for service providers and enterprises. We do network and application analytics, traffic control, shaping, and we also do network-based security services. We are currently deployed in more than 500 mobile and fixed providers and over 1,000 enterprises. And just as a side note, our very successful network-based security as a service solution has achieved more than 50% adoption rates in some of our customers, and we are currently protecting more than 23 million subscribers only in Europe.
So Angel, in the last issue of our Omnizine, the October 2020 issue, I introduced the concept of the Smart Lifespace. And if listeners miss that issue, they can download it from our website, and you can also get a free copy of the green paper on Smart Lifespaces from our website. But the idea is that, we're all living, working and playing from home in this hybrid space these days. And the home itself is becoming, embedded with smart technologies. And this provides a much more complex environment, and it's much more challenging to keep safe, I think. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you're totally right. Over the last few years, we've seen a trend of moving people from working in the traditional office where everything can be secured in a centralized way to start working from home, either every single day of the week or some days of the week. And as you mentioned, that's been significantly increased by COVID-19, where we have most people working from home. So that takes us to a situation where we need to secure, or the company needs to secure different assets, but not in a centralized way, but in a distributed way, and in an environment where both professional and personal devices are mixed all together. The result of that is that there's an increased surface of attack in terms of security, which poses a challenge in all the security solutions that are currently in the market.
With all these people working at home, as we've said, it's much more challenging to keep this kind of environment secure. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you perceive these challenges to be?
The first one is the transition from a very centralized location, which is the traditional office, which is easy to secure, just securing the boundaries of that office, to moving into a situation where we have people working from home. That means that there are more points of connection to the internet and points of connections which need to be secure. At the same time, we have people working some days from home, some days from the office, and some other days from a different location. So that means that we need to consider a 360 end-to-end security approach, where we are not only securing one particular access to the internet, but we need to secure any device in any location and anywhere. So that is a completely new approach in terms of security. At the same time, we are adding more and more devices to be secured. That also increases the surface of attack, because as an example, we are mixing traditional devices, which might be considered in the professional aspect of security, like your PC or your mobile phone, with additional IoT devices or wearables, both from a professional and personal approach. And all of this coming together means that security needs to be considered from an end-to-end point of view, and not only from a very isolated standpoint of securing one particular use case or one particular type of device.
So I guess a lot of people that are working from home today might say, but I've invested in a security program. I've bought a B2C home security package. Isn't that good enough?
Okay, that's a good question. Actually, what we believe is this traditional consumer security packages are falling short in terms of providing the required security. And the reason for that is that they are mostly or only focusing on one single scenario. And let me just give you one example. If we consider the traditional endpoint solutions, I mean, the ones that you deploy in your device, be it your PC or your mobile phone, these security solutions are just focusing on protecting this individual device, but they are falling very short in terms of protecting those additional devices like IoT devices, which are being used and mixed together with your Windows or your Android device. So in the end, these endpoint solutions are only protecting one side of the problem while the other one remains completely unprotected. That's why we consider that in terms of protection, we need to go to this 360 approach, which is not only one particular set of devices, but all devices and whatever the connectivity to the internet is.
So as I'm listening to you talking about this, Angel, I think it all sounds extremely complicated and worrying. And I think most people that work at home or that live in a smart home, they just want it to work. They just want it to be safe. They don't want to have to worry about installing things and updating things and managing the security for their home. So doesn't this present an opportunity for service providers to take more responsibility for doing just that? And in doing so, not only take away an onerous task for homeowners, but also create a new revenue stream for themselves?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and you describe very well the opportunity that ISPs or service providers have at hand right now. There is a clear need and a clear awareness by consumers and SMBs of the need to protect themselves. But at the same time, these particular market segments are not technology savvy, let's say, so they know they need to be protected, but they don't know how. That puts CSPs and service providers in a unique position to actually offer this type of solutions, because on one hand, they have the technology and the knowledge to provide those solutions. They already are in contact with these consumer and SMB customers, so they know how to position and market solutions to these guys. And as such, they can find really easy mechanisms to increase their ARPU, the loyalty of the customers. So all in all, it is a really nice opportunity for content or service providers in order to make additional business out of this situation. We do have the experience, we do have the customers already doing that. As an example, we are working with major tier ones in Europe, which are deploying this type of solutions, which they are selling them on a monthly basis, getting additional revenues for millions of subscribers. So it's not only a theoretical opportunity, it's something that is happening now.
So I understand, Angel, that you've recently conducted some research to find out what CSPs think about all of this and their customers think about it. Could you share with us some of those research findings, please?
Yeah, I mean, the major findings are just basically supporting what we are discussing so far. I would summarize that in three main items. The first one is that there is really a threat out there, and consumers and SMBs are really aware of this threat and conscious of that. And not only the end users, but as well the ISPs. More than 90% of ISPs believe that a big percentage of the devices in their network are actually infected by malware, and that a big percentage of the consumers and SMBs are accessing malware on a regular basis. So the threat is out there. At the same time, a big percentage of these consumers and SMBs, and I'm talking around 90% of them, expect the CSP to be the provider of these type of security solutions. And finally, the third component is that as well a big percentage of these CSPs across the regions that we have studied understand that if they position themselves as the secure network, that will help them increase significantly the sales, and they understand as well in a big majority that consumers and SMBs are willing to pay a monthly fee in the range of $2 to $4, depending on the region, for these security services, and therefore there's a big, good business case out of this.
So if our listeners would like to find out more about the research that you conducted or more about Allot and what you're doing in this space, how can they do that?
Well, I recommend sources of information. First of all is the Allot webpage, obviously, www.allot.com, where one can review the different products that we are offering and how we are addressing this need for end-to-end security anytime, anywhere, any device. That would be the first nice reading or source of information. The second one will be this report or paper that we discussed a minute ago, called Allot CSP Security Survey Trends in the US, Japan, and Latin market, where you will find a lot of very valuable information and some of the figures that I mentioned.
Angel, it's been great talking to you today. I've really enjoyed it. Just in summary, what should service providers be doing today? What are your top tips for securing the smart life space that we're now all living in?
My main advice will be forget about the traditional products around security. There is a new need, which is this end-to-end security, where they do not only need to provide one particular silo in terms of security, but need to provide this end-to-end security to protect my digital lifestyle. So go for this type of products that provide end-to-end security under a unified management, make things simple for the end user, so they are not aware of the complexity of this type of products. If you mix this together with a number of tools that will allow you to reach high adoption rates in the market and show the value of the solution that you are providing to this type of users, you will have a very successful use case with a very high adoption rate, increasing the ARPU and increasing the loyalty of your customers.
That's it for today's episode. Thanks for listening. You can get more information about network intelligence and security solutions for service providers and enterprises on our website at allot.com. Subscribe to this podcast to make sure you hear about new trends and technologies on the next episode of Allot on Air.